Hi everyone, Matt here from Concert Band Central, and this is going to be a little bit of a different video. Normally on this channel, we focus on videos that you can play along with right away so that you can get an exercise done or complete an objective. But today I'm talking mainly to other teachers and the band directors. I'm going to basically go over 5 things that I've learned through my first week of distance learning. So these are just tips that have seemed to work for me. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the missteps I have taken and what I've learned from them. That way, as we get into the second week, we can hopefully use that knowledge and work our way forward. So here are 5 things that I'm doing to improve my distance learning this week. So my first focus this week is going to be on asynchronous learning. I'm going to make sure to focus my assignments on things that the students can do on their own time, whenever is convenient for them, in an easy and kind of simple way. This is very helpful for a few reasons. First of all, I've noticed in my own house, in my own family, with 2 students in school and another teacher here, trying to be in a single place at a given time can be incredibly difficult. So it's very important to make sure that your assignments are focused on things that the students can complete on their own time and then send back to you. You can do this very quickly, like students can, submit things and you could submit right back. That way you have sort of a dialogue going. But it's very important that it's not something that is pressured to right now, oh, I have to be in front of the computer or I have to be on the web camera right now. There are so many things that can get in the way of that. They'll cause lots of anxiety. So I would say the first thing that I'm going to do is make sure to focus on asynchronous learnings. The second thing I'm going to do to improve my distance learning this week is I'm going to break my assignments up into as small a piece as possible. Especially in the music room, we talk about less is more all the time. Working on 2 measures and making sure they're perfect is such a better approach than taking a look at 5 to 8 measures. So this week, my assignments are going to be as small as I can make them. I'm finding spots in my music that I know students need to repeat over and over again if the concert music is going to be successful. And I'm just going to hopefully get those measures from the kids. So little, small sections, breaking them up with very explicit instructions, I think is going to be the way to go. It'll be much easier to assign 2 or 3 small assignments as students progress than to tell students, here's, 16 measures of a song, make it perfect. There could be a lot of questions about 16 measures, but if there's only 1 or 2 measures, you can probably pinpoint what the students are struggling with, have that information right up front in the assignment, and those students are going to experience a lot more success. So make it small, keep it simple. That's how I'm going to win week 2. So the third thing that I'm going to be focusing on this week is making sure that I'm consistent with how and when I'm communicating with my students. What we're going to try to do this week is make sure to normalize both the times that we're available and the methods we're going to use to communicate. That way students can have a firm expectation as to when and how we're going to work together. Over the course of this week, I've checked and sent assignments back as late as 10 o'clock at night. I've answered emails at 7 in the morning, all as an attempt to try and get things started and to keep everyone engaged. And that was fine for week 1. But as we get into week 2, we want to try to make sure now that those tech issues are dying down, now that the students have already started this, distance learning, it's really important that we be consistent about when and how we're communicating. So by limiting my hours to a certain time, we'll make sure that students know when they can get a direct hold on me and when they might have to wait. This is important to make sure that students aren't in limbo with when and how we're communicating. So to make sure everybody feels confident in how we're proceeding, I'm going to do my best to communicate very consistently and very concisely through methods that we've kind of been developing over the last week or so. So the fourth thing I'm going to focus on this week that is kind of a benefit of this distance learning is some of the metrics that we have to see how students are being engaged. Because everything is happening over distance, and in most cases, over the internet, we have the ability to see who's paying attention, how they're paying attention, and actually look at numbers on who's responding, how quickly they're responding, through various different metric systems that exist. YouTube will tell you how many times your videos have been viewed, and you can check to see how many comments and likes you have. By the way, like and subscribe. Shameless plug. Programs such as Flipgrid actually have engagement timers that'll tell you how many minutes videos have been watched, how many videos have been created back, and by looking at those numbers, we can really get a good sense of what's working with students, what isn't working with students, and it gives us the ability to make some decisions on which platforms to use to engage students in, or what students might need a phone call to see if everything's working okay. But this next week, I'm going to be looking a lot closer at my metrics to see exactly what's working, and I'm going to focus on those things so that the distance learning can be as successful as possible. So number 4, let's use those metrics and let's make sure that our platforms are working well. And the 5th thing I'm going to keep in mind as we get into week 2 is to find ways to make things fun and interesting for the students. Since we're not really looking to introduce a lot of new material over distance learning for a variety of reasons, there opens up an opportunity for us to engage the students in ways that we generally might not have time for in the classroom. A great example that I tripped across during my first week was making the video for Old Town Road. So I recorded this video on every instrument I could find in my house and, threw on my sunshades and did my best to make this kind of an interesting standout video. And because it stands out so much, it got passed around quite a bit. I lost a little bit of my dignity, but I engaged the students to make their own version of this video by providing a backing track and the chart that I wrote out for them. So by making it both fun, interesting, and a little off the beaten path, I hope to engage students a lot, and I'll get to see if it's really working over the course of this next week. So check back next week and I'll show you how it went. By engaging students in this new normal, we might be able to make them pick up the horn to do something kooky like this, but maybe they'll keep that horn with them for a little while and practice a lot more. So by finding new ways to engage the students, or ways that are a little outside the box, we might be able to prime them for a lot more success, even with the mainstream material that we're providing with them through the method book and through our concert band music. So there you have it. Those are the 5 things that I'm going to be focusing on over the course of the next week of week 2, I'm going to call it, of distance learning. So what tips do you have? What's been working for you? Let us know in the comments below, and hopefully this can be a resource for anybody who's struggling with this new normal, struggling with distance learning or use of technology. If there's anything you'd like to see on our channel, we're also very receptive to that, and we're in the studio basically full-time now. So if there's anything you'd like to see, please let us know down below. We'll do our best to get that video out. Thanks. I've been Matt. Take care.